joined now by Atlético Ottawa head coach Carlos Gonzalez as we approach the end of a pretty remarkable 2022 season. Not done yet, obviously, but Carlos, this is your first year in charge of this club, and already just the improvement getting into the playoffs, being at the top of the table. It must have been a pretty fun experience so far, right?
Yeah, of course. I think that since the beginning, if we thought about ending the regular season in this point, maybe we couldn't imagine it. But the reality is that everything is going in the right way. We did a great job since the beginning. The results are coming, and I think that we are building a very solid thing, not only inside the field, also outside the field.
You obviously took over a club here in Ottawa that finished at the bottom of the table last year, has made so much progress this year right to the top. There were a lot of new players that came into this camp. At what point maybe did you see this team on the field and think this team can contend for a championship?
The reality is that, bringing new players was a good thing. A good thing because everybody, what we started to do is to set our minds in a new stage. Okay, we wanted to forget everything that had passed in the past and like be clean to a new season. I think that this was a great start. I think that we started to build in Madrid a big and an important mindset and mentality in the players, and one of the keys was that the club brought hungry players, ambitious players that probably in the past season it wasn't an easy season for them. So this was a great first step to begin with, and since the pre-season, when we started to play against strong opponents over there with not many time to prepare everything, I started to see that the product was there, the quality was there. So it was about continuing, about repeating, about improving, developing. But the most important thing was there since the beginning.
You mentioned bringing in hungry players, and I think a lot of the players that came in this year were players that maybe were in the CPL before, needed a change of scenery, maybe a different opportunity. Ollie Bassett, Nate Ingham, Max Tissot, all these sorts of guys. How important was it to you to have these players that maybe knew the level a little bit and needed that opportunity to maybe thrive at this club?
Well, I think it's so important to have people here that already know where are they going to fight for. They know the scenario and the context in which we are playing. But also, I think that we brought people that never played in the CPL, and they have had a very important. They have been adaptive to a new context, and this is so important also. But as you say, players that were here last season, they knew, they had a lot of information of what was going to be the season. Players that were in other clubs had given us a plus of experience and makes things a little bit easier. Okay, and also they have been players that they have been able to give me also information, so that I could have a clearer plan of what to do.
There's a couple of players, like individual players, that we want to ask specifically about for various things. The first one, just Ollie Bassett. He's at Pacific last year. Maybe can't find the right spot in the lineup. He's on the bench in the final. He comes in here and he's arguably the best player in the league this season. What is it about him that makes him special in this league, and what did you see from him before the season that allowed you to trust him in this position?
Well, I think Oli, he has done a great season. We hope that he continues giving more in the next matches. But I think that the most important thing is create the context in the team in which the player feels more comfortable. So the positions and the spaces where he can move, not only in attack and in defense. So once you analyze the qualities of the player and you put him in the situations that you think that he's going to perform better, I think this is a great step. And after, it's about giving confidence to these players. Once they feel that they are important, they start to believe more in themselves. They start to think that they can give a lot of things to the team, and it starts to be like a new energy for them, so that they can give the best performance. So I think that this is the key: finding a place in the team where they can be feel with freedom, but with big commitment. And from that stage, then they will have the confidence because they will perform well.
Just two more before we let you go. First, about the tactical intelligence of this group of players, the way that you guys are able to set up and be so well organized. How happy are you with how that's come along and how you've been able to instill that in this team this year, and specifically the defensive players in this team and how good they are at holding positions and keeping that structure that you try to
Well, I think that, Charlie, all this starts in the mentality, in the set point, or that the players have a team mentality, that they know that they have to give things to the team and the team will give them things back. The commitment that they shown every single game, I think is so important. And after, we start to work on the tactics, okay? The tactics, it was very, very simple. It was about analyzing what worked on this league and try with the elements that we had, try to do a similar thing so that we could perform well. After this, also has been a process of developing tactically the team. First, we started with the idea to be solid, because I think it's the basic in a team that once you are solid, you can start to grow in other different aspects. And during the season, we've seen a big evolution, not only individually in the players, also collectively. They know perfectly what we have to do and how do we have to adjust in different situations in defense. And we know perfectly what we have to do in attack. Now having the freedom to decide, and the freedom because at the end of the day, they are the ones that play.
Absolutely. One last one, just as we prepare to head into the playoffs, obviously the first playoffs in this club's history. What would it mean to you guys as a group and as an organization to win a championship, especially to win a championship in Ottawa, ideally?
Well, I think that it would be an enormous, an enormous thing for the club. I think that the club has been working so hard in the last three seasons to create a big thing, and it hasn't been easy. So the first thing for the club, it will be a great recognition. After, for us, at the end of the day, we are competitive. We are professionals in a sport, and we want to win always. So it will be like the way to give us the support that the formula has worked. That everything that we've done every single day through the season now has the recognition of being the champions.
Well, I'll let you go and get ready for that important training, Carlos.
Okay.
I can't thank you enough.
Thank you so much.